1 whole year? I honestly might cry on this episode. I don't know. I'm feeling so excited. I'm feeling so like, what? A whole year! This is the BS4 podcast, and I'm your host, Bria Villa. Hey y'all, welcome back to the BS4 podcast. I am your host, Bria Villa. If you are new here, we've been at it for 1 whole year. What? 1 whole year. We've been at it for 1 whole year. If you are not new here and you've been listening from the very beginning, oh my God, I could squeeze you. I just want to hug you. Through this mic, through this camera, I am giving you, oh my God, just like the warmest hug you've ever had in your life. Because you've been rocking with me for a year. 1 whole year you've been listening to my madness. 1 whole year you've been listening to all my super out there thoughts. 1 whole year you've showed up and showed out for me, and I am so thankful for you. 1 whole year, 365 days and then some. And here's the thing about this, is it's been longer than a year. The preparation that it took for this podcast took 7, nearly 8 months. I think it was 8 months, maybe 9 months actually, before I even launched it. So I launched on 11/11/2024. Honey, it is officially 1 year later, 52 episodes plus of the BS4 podcast, and I am so thankful. I am so excited. I am so overjoyed. I am so happy. Like, I cannot believe it has been a year. You're not understanding, like, the shock that I am in right now. You're not understanding how I feel right now. It is so dope to have an idea and have it come to fruition. It is so dope to think of something and prepare for it and learn and fail and evolve and try again and still just continue to show up and put stuff out. Like, honey, a year? Do you think that I've liked every single episode that I've released for a year? Do you think I don't go back and listen to some of my episodes and be like, these are good, but I don't feel this way anymore? Like, honey, this isn't just like everything was peaches and cream. Everything was sunshine and rainbows. A year is crazy. A year, you change so much in a year. You evolve so much in a year. The girl that I'm watching a year ago in my first episodes is so different than the woman I am now. And it's so cool to watch my progression, and I'm so thankful for what this year has brought me. And so this episode is a celebration of 1 year. If you don't stop and smell the roses, if you don't slow down, if you don't take the time to appreciate how far you've come, it'll all pass you by. So all we're doing this episode is celebrating. That is it. Because I deserve it, because you deserve it, especially if you've been listening to me for a year. Like, think about who you were a year ago when you first started listening to this podcast. And think about yourself now. Like, it is so crazy to think that a year has gone by. And it feels like I launched this yesterday. And I was reflecting a lot on like what this past year has brought me, what I've learned, all my favorite things about the podcast. And I started to journal, as I usually do, and wrote out all my thoughts. Sorry. Let's pause. This week's episode, the B is for badass. The B is for badass. The B is for I have showed up every single week with a new episode, with new content, with no repeats, with fresh ideas, fresh concepts, fresh thoughts, and put myself out there and tried and failed and tried again and learned and evolved and grew. And I am so badass for that. I am so badass for that. So yeah, the B is for badass. The B is for Bria Villa. Okay? Don't you forget, Bria, when you, like future you, when you are listening to this episode, when you watch this episode back in a few years, I need you to know something. You are that girl. You came out the womb, that girl. And you just ran a podcast on your own dime, with your own budget, learning how to edit, learning how to market, running a social media, all while you have a full-time job. You are that girl. You are a badass. So this is me speaking to me. Hell yeah, I know that's right. My girl. Good for you. You did it. 1 year. But to prove the badassery, not that I need to prove it, but I want to celebrate it because I think it's important. I decided to look at statistics and see how many people actually get this far who start podcasts. When I read these stats, I was shook. And it's so much to celebrate. So I wrote down some statistics because I was actually floored by this information, and I'm gonna share it with you. This comes from Spotify, Buzzsprout. Those are my sources. They are like the leading RSS feeds that host podcasts. So credible sources. Anywho, stat number 1. Most people who start podcasts quit after the 3rd episode. 48% of people. So almost half the people who start a podcast quit after their 3rd episode. And then 60% of people who start podcasts quit within their first 6 months. They get to about 6 months of episodes and then they stop. So of the 52% of people who keep going after their 3rd episode, 60% of those people quit within 6 months. And then on top of that, only 8.5% of podcasts reach 50 episodes. Out of all the podcasts created, only 8.5 of them, less than 10% of podcasts reach 50 episodes. Baby, we are at 52, 53 episodes. And we are not slowing down. We are just getting started. I cannot believe, yes, I can't believe, because I know myself. And I knew that I would do this. And I never doubted for a second that I would get to this point. I never doubted for a second that I would get to a year. I always knew I would do this. But I did not realize the odds. Like, I did not realize how many people actually stop so quickly. Like, they just give up. And I am so proud to say, not only did I not give up, but I've done more with this podcast than I even envisioned when I first started it. And I know it's only the beginning. And it's only going to get better from here. I would like to share some stats with you about how this podcast has grown since its inception. To date, and this may be even more once these episodes release, to date, I've had over 10,000 downloads of my episodes. That's not just listens to my episodes. That is like my episodes have been downloaded onto someone's device. Over 10,000 downloads. Majority of people, based on stats, don't even touch half of that in their first year. Mind-blowing. Like, what? It's so crazy. Like, thank you. What? Like, that's just nuts. I literally can't. This is the part that blows my mind the most. I have listeners in 80 different countries. 80 different countries. I have at least a few listeners on every single continent of this planet. I cannot believe that there are people in Germany, people in the Philippines, people in Australia, people in Thailand who listen to me, where English may not even be your first language, and you listen to my podcast and you watch my podcast. That is insane. 80 countries? Not only 80 countries, but over 1,000 cities. I have listeners. Honey, if I just had one listener in one city, I would be so happy because that's one person impacted, let alone 1,000 cities across 80 different countries. What? I'm just like, how? I'm so grateful. I cannot believe y'all listen to me yap all the time. Like, it's amazing. Oh, but it gets better. On YouTube, just on YouTube, so this isn't counting the audio platforms. Over 700,000 impressions on my YouTube channel in the last year. 700,000 impressions. What? And the biggest number of all, over 1 million views across all platforms. I'm just like, I am so grateful. I can't even, my brain, it cannot even conceptualize that. And sometimes I look at episodes on YouTube that get a couple hundred views. And I'm like, a couple hundred isn't a lot compared to like the thousands of views that all these YouTubers get. And then I really sit there and I think, no, if you were in a room with 350 people and they were all sitting there listening to you and watching you, that would feel like a lot of people. And to be honest, if only a few of you watching right now or listening right now were sitting in front of me, I would be so nervous. And I would be so grateful for the few of you that are right in front of me, let alone hundreds of you, let alone thousands of you, let alone over 1 million views, over 1 million people across all platforms. What? I just will never not be in awe of that. I will never not be thankful and grateful for people who show up for me. I will never not be so appreciative of every ear that is lent to me, of every set of eyes that watches me. I will never not have so much gratitude for you. Thank you. Like, sincerely, thank you for listening. Whether you only listen for a few minutes, whether you listen every single week religiously, thank you. Like, I am so grateful. You are allowing me to fulfill my purpose. You are allowing me to spread love, to spread light, to spread positivity, to bring goodness into your life. That is my purpose on this planet. That and that only. I am meant to be a vessel of love. That is literally who I am and what I'm meant to do. And the fact that I'm able to do it in this way, through this medium, through a digital world where you're able to receive it and hear it and feel like you're sitting here with me, is something I will never take for granted. I am so thankful. So thankful. I cannot say it enough. And so I am just so grateful for all of you. I'm so grateful for the opportunity to be able to do this. I'm so grateful that every single week when I film, when I'm tired, when I'm exhausted, when I'm burnt out, when I'm run down, when I don't even know what to talk about, when I put out episodes that I don't even like that much, that you still show up. How fucking dope. How fucking incredible is it that I have people who still show up even when I don't feel like showing up, but choose to do it anyways, and therefore they do too. And even on my worst days, even on the episodes that I don't like, which I'm not going to go back and tell you which episodes I don't like, I get some of the best feedback. I get the kindest messages from people saying, I really needed this episode today. This is so important to me. This is the message that I needed. This is so relatable. I feel so connected to you. I get all these messages on even the things that I'm not even the most proud of putting out, let alone the things that I am the most proud of putting out. And that is because you have decided to create community with me. And I cannot thank you enough for doing that. A whole year of it. 1 whole year of it. There's no words. I'm so thankful. And so this episode is not going to be long because if it is, at some point I will start crying. And I'm like starting to feel a little overwhelmed right now because I'm just like, I can't even process like the things that I'm saying. Sorry. I'm so thankful. I'm so thankful. I can't cry. Not, you're allowed to cry. You can be vulnerable. It's fine. But I just like am in such a good mood that I'm like, if the waterworks start now, they won't stop. I wrote a journal entry the other night, and it's a letter to me. to myself in reflection of what this past year has been. And I want to read it to you because it was just like my chicken scratch, but it's cool to share so that you know how I think about all this. 1 year of the BisFor. The BisFor badass. Most people quit by now. Hell, most people don't even start. You did more than what most people would ever do, and you never missed a beat. You kept your promise to yourself. You showed up for yourself. Even when you were exhausted, even when views were low, even when you didn't know what to talk about, you never stopped. You never quit. You never gave up. You've gained loyal listeners who never miss an episode. And you think of them all the time, by the way. And people in other countries listening to you on the regular. In different time zones, on different drop dates, they still listen. You've learned so much about yourself. You've learned about your voice, your passions, your mindset, your work ethic through doing this. You should be so proud of how far you've come. And this really feels like the beginning of what you're going to do. So much more is on the horizon for you. But for now, we look at how much of an effort you've put in over the last 1.5 years and how many people you've impacted. You've learned who you are, or at least you're truly starting to. What an incredible outcome, if nothing else. That is enough, and I am so proud of you. With growth comes change for the better. Bria. I can't even wrap my head around what this has done for me and the creative outlet this has given me and the opportunities that have come from it. And I know in my spirit, in my soul, in the depths of my intuition, I know that this is only the beginning. And so, with a lot of reflection and with a lot of processing, I have good news that's dressed up as maybe bad news or maybe dressed up as, I don't know. It's bittersweet. I'm not stopping the podcast, don't worry. But I'm going to take a little bit of a break because I believe that analyzing and creating and production are 3 different processes. You cannot create and analyze at the same time. You cannot create and produce at the same time. And I have been in production and analyzing with very limited creativity for the last 1.5 years because I've just been trying to be consistent, because I've wanted to drop an episode every week, because I've wanted to show up for myself. I knew that I wanted to get to 1 year. I knew that the people that listen, who reach out to me, were counting on a new episode every week, looking forward to a new episode every week. I didn't want to let them down nor myself down. And so I've started to become a machine of production that I haven't taken enough time to slow down and create and really think about the things that I want to talk about and really think about the message that I want to put into the world. And so I'm going to take a break for the remainder of the year. So through the rest of 2025, this will be the final episode of this year. It's only a few weeks. I'm not going to be gone too long. And if you miss me, that's a good sign. So I will take that. But I'm just going to take a pause. That way I can think, because sometimes you have to slow down and think. You can't be in production all the time. And I really want to think about what I want my message to be, how I want this podcast to continue. I feel like it's gravitated into self-help, which I'm thankful for. But I also think that there's things that I want to talk about that aren't always aligned to that. And what is that going to look like? And so after 1 year, you would think that I would learn not to smack the mic, and I still do it. So I just want to be able to take the time to slow down and think about what that could look like and what messages I really want to be getting across. And so I'm going to take the remainder of the year to just like be with myself, to think, to create without production. So this will be the last episode for the remainder of the year. But in 2026, we will pick back up. The BS4 is not going anywhere. It just might look a little different. Maybe a rebrand, maybe a different cadence, maybe different topics, maybe a different scenery, setting if you watch. There's going to be change. But literally how I said in this journal entry, with growth comes change for the better. And so I'm excited for this to change. I'm excited for this to evolve. I'm excited for the next chapter of the BS4 podcast. And while I look so forward to what that is going to be, I also am so grateful for the year that's passed and how much it's brought to me and how much it's brought to you and how much it's literally evolved my life and me as a person and the relationships that I have and the people I'm able to connect with. It's incredible. Like, girl, when you listen to this a year from now, you're going to be like, damn, 2 years later, and you can't even imagine where you're going to be. But I know it's going to be great. So thank you so much for showing up for me for a year. Thank you so much for listening, whether this is your first time listening or your 53rd time listening. Thank you. From the bottom of my heart, from the depths of my soul, thank you. I have so much gratitude for you. I love you. Sincerely. And I've loved this podcast and everything about it. And I will continue to love it. And I will continue to do it. And we will resume in 2026, in the new year. So, my loves, thank you for allowing me to have, for giving me the space to, for creating the opportunity for me to have the BS4 podcast. You are a part of this podcast, and I am so thankful for it. In every country, in every city, on every device, on every platform, you've showed up, as have I. We did this together, and it's so dope. So, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope that you have an amazing rest of your year. Make it count. Be present. Be intentional. Be thoughtful. Slow down. Take the time to create. Take the time to think. Take the time to brainstorm. Take the time to be present. That's all you got. Enjoy it. And I will see you in 2026. But until then, thank you. 1 year. We did it. We did it. We did it. 1 year. I can't. Oh, I knew I was going to cry on this episode. Okay, well, make sure there ain't going to be an episode next week. But go back, listen to some previous episodes, continue to run up the streams for that. That way I can really do some good work in the new year. You hear me? I would appreciate that. But at a minimum, just like, comment, subscribe, do all the things. Thank you so much. Share with a friend. And I would love your feedback. After a year of doing this, please reach out to me and let me know how this impacted you, how it made you feel, what you want to hear more of, what's important to you, what do you want to see in 2026. Please, I would love to hear it. Thank you so much for supporting me. Thank you for a year of the BS4. And I will see you in 2026 on season 2. Bye.